Rambam called that? Is there a problem using it? And he's always referring to this. There's no problem using this. It's not a Kfir Rambam at all. This Rambam was written by people that Koch Zeh Stark in Rambam. The only thing is that these people, they follow Rabbi Kapach. Rabbi Kapach was a big mumche, and everything has to do with the Rambam. He's very close with the Rebbe as well. And Rabbi Kapach held certain things that are different than our derech, and those people that follow him, they disagree with him and other things as well. So they hold that the Rambam has to be round and not straight. And to say that Rambam, to say that around the menorah, the menorah is round and not straight. To say that around the menorah is being a kofar is a stretch. There are many people. There's even a shit in Rashi that holds that Rashi holds that it was round, although in Rashi it's a machlokes, so it's definitely not kfira. And so it's based on a mistake with pashtus, which again it can't be called kfira. And I don't see any problem in learning that using that Rambam. The learning it's fakir that the Rambam has the Kerushim, the Farshim, and so on. So they have maybe other things also, but it's they have drachim and they're dealing with the Torah. What?
I heard that they say.
He just said that. So that's also there are drachim. There are people that say that as well. It's not you can't be called a kafir. The Tiferes Yisrael was Yochanan Ubayas. Everyone learns his Mishnah. He was a kafir. He had trying to find Fizach. So they maybe they find Fizach as well. This was a hemshich to the question the guy asked about Kabbalah soil, and we spoke last time. I don't know if I answered his question as the Kabbalah soil part, but the second half of his question is, how did Chassidim, if they were really smart, know that the Maskilim were for sure wrong? What if the Maskilim meant well? What were they supposed to do? The question is not so clear. How did the Chassidim, if they were really smart, how did they know that the Maskilim were for sure wrong? Adrab. Because they were really smart, they knew that the Maskilim were for sure wrong. Unless the Bach is asking this, if the Maskilim were really smart, how did the Chassidim know that they were wrong? Because the Chassidim were smarter. The question is not, how do you know that you're wrong? The Chal, it's to get a few other questions also. I'll say it now, we get to soon more. But the whole, our connection to Yiddishkeit, even though we're Chassidic Chabad, which is Chachma Bin Adas, doesn't mean that our connection to the Eibusher is based on our Seichel. It doesn't mean that every Lubavitcher Chassid, every Chabad Chassid has to first understand that there is Hashem, have proofs for Hashem, and according to that, he goes and he serves Hashem. A Chabad Chassid is someone that his Amunas Hashem goes into a Seichel, meaning that the basis of a connection of Yid to the Eibusher, every Yid's connection is not meant to be based on Seichel. It's meant to be based on our Neshama. We know Hashem is, we sense, just like a child senses that his parents are his parents, not because he understands. This brings the example that a child doesn't know what it means to be a parent. Doesn't know how children are born, but he knows this is my father, and that knowledge, that's not al pi seichel. It's a deeper connection. Over here we call it emunah. And then as you get older, the knowledge that you know that this is your father, you know what a father means, and you start understanding more things, how much a father loves his son, will take care of his son, and so on. So all the seichel that comes afterwards is built on the basis of the emunah. So, therefore, the Chassidim and all Yidden know that the Eibusher is real because something deeper than that. If someone comes with tinus of Seichel, the tinus of Seichel, it's not, if your Yiddishkeit is based on Seichel, then someone that has arguments might be able to convince you differently. But our Yiddishkeit is not based on our understanding, it's based on a deeper connection that we have, that our Neshama connects to the Eibusher. What if the Maskilim meant well? The Maskilim did not mean well. The Maskilim meant that clearly to take Yidden away from Yiddishkeit, because this Yisoid of Emunah, they were lacking in it. It was Behel and Behester by them. So therefore they only approached everything with Seichel, and their twisted Seichel caused them to think different things and go against the Eibusher, and that's what they were trying to do. And they were supposed to, They were supposed to believe in Hashem and be Megalad and Neshama. That's what they were supposed to do. I don't know if I'm answering the question properly, but the question wasn't written so clearly. Upon him, I didn't understand it. So if you're not happy, you can try to write it again. Where's the best place to buy tefillin and mezuzahs? The best way to buy tefillin and mezuzahs is to go to a private sofer, not to any store. When I was buying mezuzahs, so I asked my Rav about certain stores in Crown Heights. So he told me Kingston, all the stores on Kingston are soicher. They're the businessmen. So I started saying certain names, even that guy, even that guy. So he was upset. He don't want to speak against him. He says he's a store, he's a soicher. A store is a soicher. The purpose of a store is to make money. That's the purpose of a store. A sofer is also trying to make money, but the sofer if he dedicates his life to writing, so to writing, so there's a lot more chance that it's going to be that his goal is not to make money. His goal is more to have a proper quality kashrus and so on. So the best place to buy tefillin and mezuzahs is to go to a private sefer, but then you get a better price also, and then you're going to get you know who it is. You know it's a Yitzhak Yerushalayim, and that's the best thing to the best place to buy.
But a sefer, in order to make money, you want to make it quality. That way people will buy from him and not the other sefer.
What?
But a sefer, if you sell mezuzahs, he's going to want to make it quality, so like the people buy from him and not the other sefer.
But since his main focus is to make money, so therefore the kashrus is a very important way of making money. But sometimes there are other cheshbonos as well, and those other cheshbonos are lav dafka based in Yerushalayim. Again, I can't speak to any individual sefer. For that, you have all the videos of it. But that's in general, that's the answer. Of course, there are many seichim that will be ehrliche Yidden and sell you true things. I'll tell you about Esrogim. I was once my friend was working in an Esrogim store, and I was talking to the guy about Esrogim, one of the big distributors of Calabria Esrogim in Crown Heights and all around. So he told me, I buy Esrogim from Label Altai. It's the only place I buy it. I said, you're a seicher. He says, all of us are liars. Again, I started asking him different stores. We're all gonna know. All of us are liars. Label Altai is the only guy that's honest you can buy from him. This is the guy that is in the industry, and he's selling it up, and he's selling it for kids. So that's what he said. So, Hemshech to this question: are you allowed to go into the Safras room on Shabbos? Is it a problem of Marisai? Not a problem of Marisai. Everybody knows that when they go in there, most guys that go in there do not write. They're just there to annoy the guys that are writing. So maybe it's not a problem at all to go in there. Do I need to have a chazayis for mezainis faran davenen? There's no Shulchan Aruch on mezainis faran davenen, and b'meila there's no clothing which should be a kazayis or not. I mean, if you're going to be close to a kazayis, you're coming to a shayla of a bracha achreina. So b'pashtus you should have more than a kazayis just for that. But if you have just a little bit, there's no cloud. And in theory, if one little bite of a half a kazayis would be enough for you, and you won't, it'll satisfy your hunger and it'll make your davening better, and the chayret should be enough. So I come up with a svara that has to give you chayis, has to be more kazayis. There's no Shulchan Aruch. It's all svaras and negation, and there's no one can come and say that you must have a kazayis. Are we allowed to vape on Tisha B'Av? You're not allowed to vape b'chlal, versteht sich? But b'cholif in laloch elamaisa. So in Shulchan Aruch and Siman Tov Kuf Nun Hey, it's the Hilchos Tisha B'Av. So we have the Mishnah Brura. When the Rebbe says that the halach is that we don't have the Alter Rebbe, we should learn the Mishnah Brura. So the Derech Klal, everybody learns Mishnah Brura for Purim and Chanukah. But the Tisha B'Av also, it's the place to learn. So the Mishnah Brura writes, Asrul la'ashin titun shekoirin reicheren, smoking, tobacco, any kind. Afilu barba tzoymis v'kol shekem b'Tisha B'Av. Even in the four fasts, the other four fasts, which are Shivas HaBetamos, Asur HaBetevis, and Tzam Gedalia, and a Tainis Esther, v'kol shekem b'Tisha B'Av. The Hechmir Ma'oid, that Shekosav, this is the Sefer Kol Knesset Agdoila, he writes, Shemisha Ma'ashim b'Tisha B'Av ha'yoroyu l'nadoisoi. If a person smokes on Tisha B'Av, you have to put him in Chayr. That's the first thing that he says, and then he brings the Yesh Me'achrim Shem Bekil. There are those that are Mekil that is permitted. Al-Kaini says, Misha Dachuk Loi Shemurgul Bebi Yeser, someone that's Mamish addicted and Mamish can't stop, Yishlohokel Achar Chatzois B'Tzina B'Seich Beisoi. After Chatzois, when no one sees in his house, he could be Mekil. That's obviously not a Bach in Yeshiva, v'chulu, 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 v'chulu. Am I not Hasidish if I want to start learning about Tisha B'Av before Chatzois on Ches Av? It does not make you not Hasidish. If you want to learn about Tisha B'Av, it's a matter of your interest might be you enjoy history, you might enjoy halacha, you might enjoy being a little bit of on the Marash Chodesh side. That doesn't take away from being Hasidish. Whatever Chiddush may be. Which Meyam Loya's Torah anthology talks at length about the life story of Yoshke? And do we have it here in this building? I don't know of any place in Yaakov Meyam Loya's which talks about the story of Yoshke. There's a sefer called Eitzer HaVikuchim. Eitzer HaVikuchim is a Medrash Eisenstein. There's a guy that put together Midrashim, and over there he has he has 2 volumes. I think it's 2 volumes only. One on Midrashim, which are not found anywhere else. This guy had access to different manuscripts, and he published it. And then he put a second sefer. I think there's only 2 that he has. Again, the Eitzer HaVikuchim, which is a compilation of all the debates that Klal Yisrael had with Christians and Mumarim v'chulu v'chayitza b'zeh. And over there he brings a sefer called, in the book itself, there's a section called Toldos Yeshua HaNotzri, where he goes through the different stories about it, and he keeps quoting different stories, and I think almost everything that he says over there, he says it's not reliable. Like he brings all the stories and he says it's not true, it's quoted here, it's quoted there. That sefer is not in the building, I have it in my house. If you're interested, you can ask me and I'll bring it from my house. It's in Hebrew, it's not in English.
There's the Barrel Wine books.
Yeah, it's probably based on that as well. Since it's not time for learning now. So these things are. It's a question. I don't usually answer these kinds of questions. I got Bacher was really bored, and he asked it anyway. So Mamela, since it's Tisha B'av time, we can talk about it. Even that's the Simcha. How did you come to Postville, and your brother told the Torah, and Rabbi Ben Shimon to Postville, and also the yeshiva? So my brother's a teacher in the Torah. My brother was in Koilo, and he's a talented young man. And therefore, and when he was finished Koilo, they offered him a job in the Torah, and he accepted. Pretty simple. How did I come to Postville? I was a Bachar in 770, and there were a Bachrim that came over here to Postville to try to get money from the Rabashkins for different mitzvahs that they were doing, global mitzvahs. And they came to Rabashkin. Rabashkin said, "I'll give them money, but tonight that they get shluchim to come from 770 to Postville." So those Bachrim were my friends. And they came to me, I was in 770 then, and it was something happened that I wanted to leave 770 for a little bit. So I got to also, they came to Mamish the next day, it was Shkocha Brothers after Yud Shvat. So I was masking to come here on Shlichus, and then I stayed here for a year and a half, and after that, after Koilo, I was offered a job, and since I already knew it, I felt that it was a good Shlichus for me. I asked him to Shpia, and he gave me the Askom. Rabbi Ben Shimon, how did he come to Postville? Rabbi Ben Shimon was also, after he finished Shlichus, and out to the Bachar, he had offered a job to teach over here to teach in the yeshiva, and he taught over here. And after he got married, they offered him a position to teach in the cheder, and he took up the offer. And then the year after he taught in cheder, that year the yeshiva was going through a crisis. So the bachim in the yeshiva that remembered him from the previous year asked him to get involved in the yeshiva, and he was masking at that time. The cheder and the yeshiva were both in the shul building. So he was teaching Kita Ches, and at the same time, half a day he spent in the yeshiva, and that's how he got more and more involved in the yeshiva until he took over.
Who came first?
Chicken over there. Me and him?
Yeah.
No, he came first. But he was taking care of the yeshiva. That's when I came on the legislature. Hope you're happy.